Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to this quick update video. It is now 2020 and I'm back at my computer, so I'm back working on the RPG toolkit, trying to get it out as quick as I can into the hands of people because I need to move on to another project. I'm just going to showcase some of the features that are going to be in it and just show you exactly where it's at. So if I hit inventory here, you can see I'm just going to go across the items now. I've got a light armor here, so I've got an armor system in the game and that will tie into a few different things, but I'll show you how that works. I'm just going to hit equipment. We come down here, we've actually added in a new field here for equipable items, and that's the armor. So I'm going to, oops, excuse me, just open that back up again, click on it, and we're going to equip that item. Now you can see there's nothing that's changed to the character. You can actually set it so that it will place objects onto the character wherever you've got it positioned, and you can see here I've got an armor score that has changed to 20. Now I've also got these, so this is your character sheet, this is your stats, and these are the ones that you can affect. So it's basically a pen and paper setup where here you've got several stats to choose from. If I come to the prefab here itself, you can see I've actually got the script here. We have these stats that are listed here and we've actually got a value on them. I'm just going to drop that down just so we can see a little bit of the change. I'm going to pop that up to 30. We've also got attributes, which are the further stats. So these are for like your actual activities, so the different ones that you use. Now I've just got a whole bunch of basic ones in there. I'm going to trim this one down for the free version because a lot of them aren't actually being used for anything that I've implemented in the actual demo system. But I'll just cut them down to easier ones, and I'll probably pop them on this sheet here so that you can actually increase them. Excuse me. And then we'll see here that we've got all those stats there that we can use. And if I close that up, the way that they affect the character is if I go up now and I start punching this enemy character here, if you have a look, you can see now we're doing different amounts of damage to the character. And my health hasn't reset itself. The health should have reset itself, but it looks like it hasn't. So my health bar is super huge because it's actually based off a few things. So it's based off the strength and I think constitution as a multiplier, and some of the other hardiness factors I think is one of the other ones that I put in there. So the stats will actually affect your stamina and your health as well as your actual running speed. So the higher the dexterity, the more increased speed that the character will have as he's running around. It's only a very slight variance because if you put it up too high, the character just flies across the map and it looks a bit strange. Anyway, so those affect that, but it also works when we're using ranged weapons. So I'll just come over here. I'm going to pick this up. I think he holds the gun a little bit funnily, but that's okay. So you can see now that when we're going to shoot, I can still actually hit. So you can see I'm only doing a little bit of damage. If I actually up my dexterity and I think my marksmanship, it's coming across here. You can see now I'm starting to do a lot higher, and I don't know why that assertion failed there, but that's alright. Was it battle or something? I don't know. But you can see now I'm doing a lot more damage just by upping those stats. So the higher your stats, the more damage you'll do. There's also a base damage for each of the weapons, and then it picks a random number based on those stats, so within that range. And it also works for the bow and all the melee weapons. Now the other thing that I've got in there is I'm also going to be including a skill check, which allows you to do stuff. So when you come up here, if you use this, you'll see it will just automatically do at the end of a timeline. I think one of these is supposed to be the time. Yeah, this one here. So it's like a time interaction one. At the end of it, you can actually set it to call a function, and that function will be a skill check. So it will actually you can set a difficulty level on that skill check, and that skill check will then check for the player's skill in that region, and then either pass or fail. And if it passes, obviously you'll succeed. If it fails, then it won't work. So this is basically resembling like your lock picking or your any kind of like skill test, like a strength test to move an object or anything like that. Obviously, if you or like hacking into a terminal, if you pass, then you'll get access. If not, then you'll get locked out and you'll have to do it again. So yeah, as I said, there'll be like several tiers to that. So there's from beginner through to master, and it'll be based off your stats versus a random stat number within the difficulty tier that it's got. So the other thing that I've got in there is actually a very basic dialogue and a very basic quest goal system. I'm only putting in the basic versions here. The reason for that is because I wanted to set it up mainly for the purpose of awarding experience and reward items. to the system so that I could test the system for when you need to increase your stats. So getting experience points and leveling up effectively. I would definitely suggest that people use or integrate a third-party quest or dialogue system. They're much better handled. I don't want to have to go to all the effort of building something that's already been built that's way better, because I'll never achieve that kind of level of quality. But you'll be able to integrate things because the only real purpose of the quest and the goals is to offer experience to the stat system. So the stat system here is the core of the RPG system, and of course it is just a method called for leveling up and awarding XP numbers or awarding items from the Invector inventory list. But I'll show you what it looks like at the moment anyway. So we can come in here, you can see I've just triggered off a dialogue. The UI is a little bit funky, but that's just going to be cleaned up later. You click on here for option 1 to reply. How are you? Okay then. So of course it's just coming through as random test. And now you can see down the bottom here I've got, it just popped up with okay then. That's just a little debug warning to show that I've actually had the conversation. Now if I click onto items, you can see I've also been granted 3 shotgun shells, and that was a reward for the conversation that I had. So you can set that up in the conversation parameters. You can also award quests through the dialogue system. So I've just been given a quest. I have a journal page to show quests, but I don't have that currently looking for the quests at the moment and placing that into the field. But that will be there when I release it to the public. And then that one's just an actual explore quest, so it needs me to find a location, and then it will give me a reward for that. So when I come across here, you can see now down the bottom it says quest goal has been reached, and I gave you A17. That's just the ident number for the item that it's given me, and that item is more shotgun shells. So now I've got 19 shotgun shells, and now that I've actually triggered that off, I can go back and still have the conversation. That's fine, and it will say okay then, but it hasn't actually given me any more rewards because I've got a special toggle in there that says if you've already had this before, don't do it again. And what that does is that basically prevents people from constantly going back and getting the same quest, or accidentally walking into them and then triggering it off a million times as they're trying to walk past the character, that sort of thing. And then of course if I walk through here, obviously it's not doing anything because I've already reached that goal, so it's just disabled the reward filter there. So that's where we're at. Hopefully I'll have it done by the end of the month and into the hands of people. I'll probably have a smaller group of testers to test out the stuff before it's ready to be released, just so I can make sure that there's not any bugs that I'm missing. And hopefully everything will be straightforward, and I'll be releasing the tutorial videos of how to set up each of the different components in order to get it running. Again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you again soon.